we're going to be looking at chapter 15, and we're going to be using the workspace graphics. So we're going to be looking at text and shapes using the Essential Graphics panel. So one of the first things that you want to do is go ahead and open up lesson 15, and you'll want to then save it as lesson 15 underscore working and say save. Once you've started your file, you want to make sure that sequence 01 clouds is open, and you also want to make sure that your graphics workspace is chosen. So you should have a very similar layout to mine. If you don't have graphics already chosen, go ahead and switch to that one. If it didn't show up across the top, you may need to come to the little double arrows, click, and then choose it here. This here layout provides us opportunities to manipulate this rectangle you see on the screen along with the text. So let's talk a little bit more about some of the stuff that you can do with the Essential Graphics panel. So right now over here you can see edit is completely blank. Once I click on an icon such as this, stuff will populate, and we'll do that here just momentarily. Currently, if you click on Browse in the Essential Graphics, you'll see My Templates. This is anything that is local to your computer that you already have access to. So these are all ones that you can use. As you get further along, you may want to use the rolling credits to finish up a movie or a project with. You can also make lower thirds with this. If you're not finding something that you like here in your My Templates category, you can choose the Adobe Stock button, and this will allow you to browse a larger library of items, and in there you'll find templates that are free, or some of them may be paid as well. So that's something that you can investigate on your own if you're looking for something beyond the general templates that it comes with. Also in these settings, you can see right here, we've had these tools, they usually end up down here for me, but with the graphics workspace, they're up here on this top part. So this here is your selection tool. We'll be looking at that. The pen tool, if you click and hold it, not only do you have the pen tool, oh, I apologize. In this version, it's in a separate one. The rectangle and the ellipse and polygon are a separate space. Sometimes in one of the versions, the pen tool was stacked with those as well. So if you see only the pen tool and not any of these polygons or rectangles, you can look here for them. But you can utilize all of those with the graphics panel as well. And you can also, let's see, and the text tool. So if you click and hold on this one, you have your horizontal text and your vertical text. The text that we're looking at that says Cloudscape is a horizontal text, so it was this tool that was used to make it. If you need something to run along the edge going up and down, you would select this. And you can see that you can switch back and forth between those two. Right now the selection tool is perfectly fine for what we're going to be doing. So those are some of the tools that you'll be looking at with this Essential Graphics. Some of the first steps that the book has said was to make sure you open the 01 cloud sequence, and then it wants us to position the playhead over the video 2 track so we can see it. And of course I've already done that, so you can see the word Cloudscape and the rectangle with it. Now it wants us to choose this title. So it has a title right here for us. And when I click on this, be mindful of what happens over here. So I click, and then you can see in our edit space where this was completely blank before, we now have layers. If you've done anything with Photoshop or any other program that uses layer-based items, this will be real common to you. So whatever is on the bottom is beneath the item above it. These here are eyeballs, and they act just like you would think. If it's clicked, and that means your eye is closed, this stuff is turned off. If it's clicked on, that means you can see what that layer is. So you can also rearrange these. So if I drag that down, you can see the text went behind the shape tool. So I'll drag it back to where it was, but if you have multiple items here, you can restack them very easily. Just remember whatever is on the top of this stack is going to be the most forward front image that you can see. The other things to be mindful of in these edit panels, we've dealt with in our effects control before, is X and Y axis, so positioning, scale, all that stuff. You can see down here we have align to center, horizontal and vertical alignments. You have other adjustments here. This is your X and Y axis. You have sizing. You have a link for X and Y to scale as a locked so they're proportional, or you can unlock that and then you can end up with stretched or skinny. It just depends on how you manipulate it. And then you also have a opacity view, and then down here you have appearance such as your color. For fill, you have a stroke, you can add shadows, you can mask with a shape. Eyedroppers will allow you to select colors even outside of the Premiere Pro window. I believe you can select them even from your desktop if it's visible. So if you're trying to sample a logo color of some sort, that might be a tool that you'll want to utilize. All right, so what else does the book want us to do? Let me go ahead and turn off the cloudscape layer. So you can see now the text has disappeared. So that's what I was talking about, the on and off of those buttons. It wants us to select shape 02, which I have done. If you click in there extra, you can rename it if you'd like. The book doesn't ask for that, so we'll just choose shape 02. And I've talked about kind of all the different things you can do with the control panel. This is considered your control panel right here. And it wants us to now click on this fill color. And notice you get a color picker option. There are a variety of ways to make a very precise color. So if you know the RGB setting or HSB, you can come in and type these values in. You can move this around to change whatever the color is. See, it's updating back there. And you can also use the eyedropper right from here. However, the book says to hit cancel, and then it says to choose our eyedropper from here. And it wants us to try to make this background sampled from the blue that we see at the horizon line. So that looks like a nice color. I'm going to go ahead and choose that. And notice it updated right here in this box where you can see the swatch. Okay, next up, it wants us to make sure we have the selection tool chosen. So if you do not have that, and then make sure the O2 shape layer is still selected. So that is selected. And then it says to click on the word cloudscape in the program monitor. So we're switching modes. So I could choose here to select cloudscape, but if I'm on the shape and I actually click, I'll have to click out of this. So you'll want to clear out of that and then click actually in the program monitor. It does the same thing. It pounces us back into our essential graphics, and now we're on the text option. And you can see down here the book wants us to play with a variety of the fonts. So you can change from Arial to any of these that you like. So kind of mess around with that. You can change the size as well. You can change your kerning, tracking, leading, any of these along here. You can change colors. The book will ask you to put them back once you are done. So I'm going to hit Control Z, but those are all different things that you can manipulate with. Also keep in mind, you have these preloaded fonts, and of course you can get more where it says add fonts from Adobe, or you can of course install fonts to your computer. If it's one of the school computers, you might not be able to, but if it's your own personal computer, you can make those additional changes. So hopefully you now have a very good understanding of the Essential Graphics panel, and we're going to continue to build on these tools as we get further into this chapter.